What's happening, everybody? Quick little filler edition of Prep Insider. Christian Pedersen joined by Scorebook Live's Bodie DeSilva at SB Live CAs, where you can find them on social media. You can find him at SD Preps, and you can actually maybe find him in a game sometime soon. I don't know. I don't really do the character from South Park or from Family Guy well, where the voice keeps getting higher and higher, like where Brian and Stewie do that bit to each other. But that's what I'm trying to do there. Is like maybe we have a game to talk about, Bodie. Big updates coming this week. Don't want to have people necessarily rehash. I mean, don't want to have you rehash your whole written article, because I know that you can tell people where to find the great details, but help maybe cut through some of the misunderstanding and disinformation that's out there right now.
Yeah, so obviously we've seen so many numbers tossed around for the county. In order to get these sports going again, you got to get under 14 people per 100,000. As of the last update last week, San Diego County was at 22.2. Well, then when the state sent out their information on Friday, which the website only updates once a week, but you can get the numbers when you need them. It appears San Diego was down at 15.6, which is great news because numbers have been dropping, and come update time on Tuesday, you would think that we'll be under 14. I know since I've been talking about San Diego section as a whole, Imperial County was at low 20s as well. So hopefully for them, numbers are low enough so they can get going as well. So it looks like come Tuesday that numbers will be low enough to get these outdoor sports going again, which is great news. And I think one of the key points reading through the Department of Health's statement that they sent out Friday was once you get below 14 per 100,000, even if your county goes above it, you do not have to stop playing. So I think that's great news. In the event that maybe 1 week you jump up to 15, 16 maybe, that you don't have to shut down and potentially miss the rest of the season, part of the season, whatever it may be. So definitely looks like good news is on the horizon, but come Tuesday, that'll be the big day. And hopefully we don't have to wait an additional week to see numbers drop anymore.
So you bring up a couple interesting things there right at the end, saying it's going to be that weekly marker. So it's going to be, we're checking back in every Tuesday to see if we've hit 14 out of 100,000. I'm looking through the memo that CIF sent out, and I'm seeing kind of where all the new tiers are. You can go check that out at CIF SDS on Twitter, or we'll have it at SD Prep Insider Bodie. Well, everybody has it. It's circulating around. But what does, in your interpretation, get going mean? Do you see, I mean, I see some football coaches tweeting out their plans. I talked to some. I'm not really understanding maybe across the board. Do we just see games this Friday? Like, what are we, like, how quick is all this going to get underway?
Yeah, so my understanding is that we'll, as we typically do, we'll follow the guidelines of the Southern section. And they announced, I believe it was on Friday as well. So whenever a county gets cleared, they will have to go through, I believe, 10 practices before they can scrimmage, and then 14 practices, I believe, before a competition can be played. So hopefully that's the key number of, we can get cleared Tuesday, get practices going, and then maybe 2.5 weeks from now, we can finally see real games, maybe a scrimmage before then.
And that is applied across all sports in purple and red tier, correct?
Correct. And it's only the three sports of football, rugby, and water polo that will have to adhere to the weekly testing that the state will provide. But just because the state's going to provide it doesn't mean that it's automatic. I mean, you're going to have to find ways to get the kids there. I don't know if you're going to bus them, if you're going to have set up on campus, how that's exactly going to work, but certainly some challenges to work through, but guidelines are there. Then there's light in the tunnel to get out of this and finally get some teams back playing.
I apologize for hitting everybody with a little bit of list radio, but for me, it's important to let everyone know kind of what is where. Purple tier, cross country, we have already seen the initial season underway quite successfully. Haven't had any horror stories yet about major outbreaks and or issues really at all. Swim and dive is pretty limited participation, but is underway. In the next 2 weeks, we are going to see the first golf and tennis matches happening on the girls' side. Red tier, adjusted means field hockey will be coming back for the tail end of its season. It also, though, to me, Bodie, means the big thing is that baseball and softball are back. And looking just as, I mean, we already teased that on the show a couple weeks ago, but it's looking like, you know, this is, I guess I'm going to boil this down to best case scenario. I mean, really, one full spring season will happen is the amount of time that we're going to end up realistically getting for all these season 2 sports.
Yeah, a big thing, and I think it certainly applies to baseball and softball. Reading through the rules is since you're not allowed, there are some ways around it, but likely, in all likelihood, there won't be typical tournaments that we see or several team get-togethers. I want to know if in baseball and softball, if they're going to be allowed to, let's say on Saturdays, if you're playing the same team, be able to get in a doubleheader. I don't know how many less games they'll be able to play than normal, but I would love to just see as many games. I mean, these kids, especially these sport kids, lost the end of their years last year. Hopefully, I mean, the seniors are super unfortunate, but especially for the juniors that were able to miss those games, I hope that we can get as many games in for them, and especially the sports where it's realistic to pull off a doubleheader. I know just because the rules say you're only allowed one game per day, I would hope that it makes some sense to be able to get in doubleheaders for the sports that allow it.
First reaction I have there is no.
Yeah.
Play less games so that arms are less taxed and maybe the playoff field widens because you get a couple extra teams that would take a few losses throughout the year when they have arms a little tired towards that dog days stretch.
Maybe just softball then, right? Because
just thinking. Yeah, that's true. It's a whole other one. Well, but look, hey, Bodie, we don't have you here for that kind of sports analysis. We don't want to take up too much of your time. We really appreciate it. Folks, if you want more, Bodie just got done with a podcast with Connor Morissette. They are at SB Live CA. You can follow him at SD Preps. We are San Diego Prep Insider. We'll be back with our regular show next week. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Talk to you later.